And this is the mouthwash.
Some next level shit. Just one sprechen the geek.
Mouthwash. The sprechen. Mouthwash. Mouthwash.
You are listening to Geek Street Society Radio, Master Control, yes, GSS. Join us in the forums at geekstreetsociety.com. Join us on Twitch TV at twitch.tv.com, well, twitch.tv/ I don't know what the name is, but it looks like it's Yokomoto. In any case, here is Master Control, only on Geek Street Society Radio.
Yes,
GSS!
Welcome back to Master Control. I am Ace.
I'm Phee.
I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah the honeybee, and this is Stache's. I'm pseudo Stache.
Pseudo Stache.
Yes. We have many special guests today. How are you all doing out there? I assume fantastic. So, let's get this show on the road.
Yay! Sci-fi. Always a fun time.
Adjustments must be made to this crazy, crazy world. But yes. So, how was everyone's week?
It's kind of slow, but pretty darn good.
Good.
That's what we like to hear. Mine wasn't slow per se, but it was okay. How was yours?
Mine was fantastic. Lots of sci-fi and fantasy filling up my life. Been recently watching a lot of Twilight Zone and a lot of the Sci-Fi Channel.
Sci-Fi Channel is fantastic.
It is. And Sci-Fi has a brand new show coming out January 10th.
Which is?
It is called Helix. It's an exciting looking show. Check out the trailer. Check out what it's about. But yes. So, we have special guests here. Sarah, we have the pseudo Stache, or Stache replacement, because shout out Stache, we miss you, we love you, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I don't know where that cat is. I feel like he's back now. Big old slacker. Slacker Stache.
And you got to have a Stache in the studio.
Oh, totes.
Gotta have one, and we do. But yes. So, blah. But yes. So, Sarah, would you tell us a little something about yourself? What's your favorite sci-fi or fantasy, or a list of them? I know it's hard.
Oh, that's going to be so difficult. I've been watching like sci-fi and fantasy since I was like born practically.
Born?
Yeah, practically. I grew up watching like Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Star Trek Enterprise, watching that with my parents. My parents started watching the Merlin show that was on Sci-Fi, and it originally started on the BBC, and we're really into that show, at least when it was on anyways. When I first saw the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship, I was I think I was like 11 or 12, and I hadn't heard anything about those books or movies until I saw the first movie. And I remember sitting there in the theater after it was over. I was like, oh my God, where's the rest of the movie? And pretty much I ended up reading the books at like age 11 or 12, and I was just obsessed. And in fact, I love Harry Potter on top of it too, because my mom taught me how to read with the Harry Potter books when I was like 9 years old. So for me, fantasy, sci-fi, video games, all that's been a part of my life since I was growing up. So
I feel like Harry Potter did wonders for like getting people into like the sci-fi fantasy genre. I got into that young too.
It really did. It didn't for me. I read the first book, and I didn't get into it. That is not my forte, but it is a very good story, especially when you go all the way through it. Recently, I had a friend that went all the way through the movies, beginning to end, in a row, without a break, which is insane, because that's 7 movies, and wow, crazy. But she said it was a worthwhile experience because you get the whole wrap-up of the story, just the whole plot line all in one go, and you realize exactly how it's written out and how it was conceived. It's a nice little wow in your face.
That's kind of the way I did it, and it was better because I hated the books.
Yeah.
But I like the movies all in a row.
That's good, yeah.
I'm always that kind of
Mind
person
numbing.
where I like both. I like both the books and the movies. Like for me, it's just you can't fit everything into the movie. But you know, they do try their best for the most part. So for me, I can never like really hate the movies if I like the books, and I can never like hate the books if I like the movie. I give them both a chance.
Thank you. Someone that finally admits that, because most people feel that way, but they're like, no. No.
The book's always better.
It's better though.
That to an extent it is true. Clockwork Orange, for example. I read the book and I was obsessed with the book. I loved it. And then I watched the movie by Stanley Kubrick.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that movie. It was just, it turned a good story, and they just added a bunch of things that really weren't necessary, a bunch of nudity and sexualized themes. And I said, this was so unnecessary. So could not stand the movie, but the book is something that it makes you question yourself and society in general. So pretty much books that make me go on a roller coaster ride like that, they've got me in.
Yeah, and especially like those stories, you gotta hate when they butcher it, but sometimes they do it really well. Like I believe that the Hunger Games did it very, very well to the best of their ability without having to cut each one into multiple movies, which they're doing with Mockingjay. Anyway, yeah.
They do that with all like big movies, all big book series like that. They did it with Harry Potter, but with Harry Potter you need to, because that book was really flippin' big.
Yeah.
And then you have they did it with the Twilight Saga, which was really unnecessary, because that you really could fit into all one movie.
They just wanted to drag that.
And then I think with Mockingjay, I think it depends on what's important to the story to put in, and what doesn't really need to be put in. So honestly, I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I'm gonna have to go back and reread Mockingjay just to make sure.
Oh, let me just say I agree with you, because there's books that aren't that long but have lots and lots and lots of content, and sometimes it's just better to split it up so you can actually get those sub-themes in there that are very important to the story.
Hunger Games has a lot of those.
The general line. Yes, and Hunger Games is something we'll talk about a little bit later. So, gotta ask, when it comes to, because you were that rare person that says you like both the book and the movie, when it comes to them taking out stuff or adding stuff like they did with The Hobbit, how do you feel about that?
With The Hobbit, I'm really glad they added all that, because they're taking elements from the other books, such as the Silmarillion. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Correct.
And the different other untold tales. I think it was they're taking different bits and pieces from the other stories and adding that in, like the wizard that lives in the forest, whose name escapes me right now.
Radagast.
So is it.
Radagast.
He's not at all mentioned in The Hobbit, but they put him in there, and that really adds to the story. So in that case, it's like, because it's just one book, but by adding more to it, it allows them to stretch out the story a little bit more, and kind of gives you a little bit more of a history and background of the Middle Earth in general. So with The Hobbit, I am so glad they added all that. So those are one of those exceptions.
And his funky hairdressing. That's kind of an interesting gel that he uses.
Right? Yeah, it has good hold. Holds up great. That's true. Nah. Beautiful.
Pasted into place.
Well, he's giving birds a home, okay? Can you really like trash a guy for doing that?
Yeah.
That's just wrong.
Gives a whole new meaning to the word waking up with a bird's nest in your hair.
Yeah.
I'll be here all night.
It's true. It's true.
It is.
And I don't know, call me shallow, but I like gratuitous violence and sex in movies when they add it. Just me.
Which is why
being honest here.
And I think that's why you like the original Star Trek with Kirk, the impregnator of 1,000 worlds.
That's it.
Well, Kirk is a bamf. Can't knock him.
He gets around.
He gets
around that galaxy.
Right.
He knows how to get the job done, if you know what I mean.
That he does.
Man, but as a huge, Star Trek fan, I gotta ask, and don't kill me for this, but preferable first officer. Oh snap, Data, or well, I guess he's technically second officer, but Data versus Spock.
Oh man, please don't make me choose.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's too hard, because I'm always that middle ground person. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to compare them because they're both highly intellectual. Well, one's not a robot, android, and then you got. Why am I forgetting what the
android-like.
Android versus Vulcan.
Android Vulcan. That's it. Android versus Vulcan, but they're both technically they are both unemotional beings. Well, Spock is supposed to be unemotional, but he's kind of half human.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's for me, it's hard to compare them because they're both in a way the same. So
That's a good point.
I can't
that way.
choose because to me they're similar in so many ways.
Mhm.
I think I just need to get to know Data, whatever, better.
Data.
Data.
Yeah.
Data.
He has a cat named Spot, and it's like the cutest little relationship you'll ever see between an android and an animal. It's the cutest thing ever.
I do like kitties. Maybe I need to get on that series because I've watched like a lot of the Star Treks, just like not that. Just
That's
I don't
true.
know. I just skipped over that one. I guess it just like I watched a couple and I was like, moved on.
Oh, I had to sit through it when I was a kid. At first, I didn't
Yeah.
like it because I was all my parents watched it, and I wanted to watch cartoons. And then suddenly I started getting into it, and I'm like, I like Star Trek.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time coming around, but someone over
He
here
is.
is trying to
I am
work it
trying to
on.
get this man over here to watch something other than the original series. He needs to experience the breath.
The Next Generation is really good. Enterprise was all right, but
I gotta say,
Next
my
Generation was
favorite
good.
is Deep Space Nine.
that one was pretty good too.
I'll just keep saying I'm a Voyager person all the way.
You are.
I
and
am.
I recently
Voyager.
finished my trek through Voyager, and I gotta say, I
Voyager.
completely understand why.
Yeah.
It is a great standalone series. It holds itself really, really well. I was surprised exactly how well the story panned out. I expected it to like lose interest or something because they're on this long voyage home. Voyager.
Wait,
Ding,
get it?
ding.
Get it?
Ding.
Haha. But no, it really panned out well. What do you think is your favorite like aspect of Voyager? Is it the captain, the crew, the ship, not being
liked-
the Enterprise?
What stands out to me a lot is just it is the crew and their whole dynamic with each other, and obviously 7 of 9 score, right?
Oh, 7 of 9, you Borg angel.
Right. Borg angel indeed.
Dream bubbles. But yes.
So yeah, that, and I don't know. I do like that. It had the female captain.
Jane White.
I thought I think she did a really good job of being a captain of a starship as a woman.
Even though she belonged in the kitchen. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
Know your place.
Hey, I'm a girl, and I do not get offended by those jokes. In fact, normally half the time I'm the one making them.
She'd scare me in the kitchen.
She would. Efficient food is not tasty food. Oh, man.
Well, it can be. I don't know. I mean, tombstones. It's pretty efficient,
Ooh,
and
yeah,
it's tasty
yeah.
too.
Oh, snap.
I
I'm
don't know,
just saying.
tasty.
Called out.
Brit-like.
Boom.
Boom. No, I actually respect Janeway a lot as a captain. And, just seeing closer how people talk about her, it's amazing how underrated she
Really,
was as an
she
actress
is.
for that role as well. That's something with Deep Space Nine, too, is Cisco. These were people going into this role that were really unsure about it. Surprisingly unsure about it, but unsure about it, and they ended up making it amazing. But that's why, most Star Trek you watch, the first season is a little hard to get through because not all the cast has clicked yet. But once that happens, and you can almost peg out the episode, it's just like, boom!
It's like night and day.
Warp 9.
I
keep
think it's
waiting
like with
for
that
it.
with all TV shows. Like for me, I recently started watching Dexter in October, and the first season, you like it, and that's what pulls you in. But once you start watching the later seasons, the further you get, it's hard to go back to that first season of any show because it's hard to watch because you're right, the characters, they don't have those relationships yet.
Yeah.
They haven't established anything. The actors are still themselves seem a little uncomfortable, and the story isn't as fully developed, and it's kind of hard because it's like, well, you know what's going to happen in the future now, so as you watch the past, it's kind of difficult.
Yep. But we are heading to a break. But we'll be back after this short break. We want you to go ahead and check out and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Geek Street Society and follow us on Twitter at Geek Street GSS. Yes, dramatic pause of the Kirkian kind.
Keeping it interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
And don't
dramatic,
forget to
all right.
and don't forget to check out our twitch.tv live. Just search for Chris Yoko. That is Yoko with a C. And follow Mass Control and check out all the other great shows on geekstreetsociety.com. And you can search for us on YouTube with hashtag Geek Street Society. We will see you right after this short break. Stay tuned. Do not miss out. Yeah.
I can hold it. No, I'm all right. Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
What?
You're far too trusting.
geekstreetsociety.com.
Yo, man, I really need a new jacket, but where do I go? If you want fresh new gear to show off your style, there's no better place to get it than Leather Direct. You need hats, jackets, clothing, and accessories, and Leather Direct has the connection for your authentic and licensed outerwear. With over 26 NFL teams available, you can't afford to not check out the local selection. Because whether it's NASCAR, NBA, or a classic Fonzie jacket, Leather Direct has a deal for you. There is something for everyone with a great selection of jackets in women and kids sizes. If your kids love Spider-Man, Batman, or just want to smash with the Hulk, they want this gear, and now you know where to find it. Don't wait another second, because the deals at Leather Direct fly off the racks, and you don't want to miss out on your one-of-a-kind jacket. Go to the Aurora Mall and visit Leather Direct, and when you mention Geek Street Society at the counter, you'll receive an additional 10% off. So whether it's Broncos, Bulls, Betty Boop, Jeff Gordon, or anything else, you can do the shopping yourself. Time to check Leather Direct.
Anything you want from me, you can have it. I grant wishes like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Got you under my spell, baby. It's my potion. I love it when you put it down deep. Like I'll be a genie, yeah. I'll be a genie, yeah.
Every time I come around, with the girl got a smile on her face, cause she ready for some action. Got her in the backseat with the legs up, never giving up, giving all satisfaction. Infatuated by the big boy swag, whatever you need, I guarantee 3 wishes. Little mama so bad, bad, coming in a party with a body so vicious. And the way I do my thing, got her tripping. All she wanted was a man that could listen. Every night we alone, so gone, she swing around the pole, drop her low, start stripping. I never seen anything so perfect, and I give her all my time cause she worth it. She a dime piece, never been a broke chick, got her own dough, make another whole nervous. That booty make me wanna pop the question, yes indeed. She know I'm doing what I do, so ain't no stress in me. She rock that sexy lingerie, yeah, she be sexing me. Man, if looks could kill, I swear to God, she beat the death of me. When I touch down and I roll up, she got it ready, all I gotta do is show up. She be talking in my ear, get closer, holding on tight, cause she know I'm finna blow up. Yeah, me and her be making magic like Houdini. Rub the right spot and now pops my little genie.
Anything you want from me, you can have it. I grant wishes like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll be a genie, yeah. I'll be a genie, yeah. Got you under my spell, baby. It's my potion. I love it when you put it down deep. Like I'll be a genie, yeah. I'll be a genie, yeah.
No way I could ever wanna leave you. Gotta hold me down in the world so crazy. Fast forward to the future, see us with a family here, going half on the baby. But right now I gotta grind for the music, get my status up, making everybody lose it. Louis V shopping spree for my baby, let me upgrade you, put you in a new whip. Baby girl, we gon' be living like a movie. Fast car, big house with jacuzzi. You my down ass bitch, you ride for the team. When I see other hoes wanna use me, nah, that can never be you. Every time I turn around, I see your haters trying to break us. They all fakers, no money makers. Wanna see us doing bad like the Lakers.
Anything you want, I'll be. There's no question, no matter what they say about me. It's all you to say, my babe. And don't ever go away.
Listen up, girl, I know it ain't easy. I be messing with them other little breezies. Any time of the day, have my phone call away. Hit me up, I'll be there when you need me. Yeah, me and her be making magic like Houdini. Rub the right spot and now pops my little genie.
Anything you want from me, you can have it. I grant wishes like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll be a genie, yeah. I'll be a genie, yeah. Got you under my spell, baby. It's my potion. I love it when you put it down deep. Like I'll be a genie, yeah. I'll be a genie, yeah. Whatever you need, just I'll count 1, 2, 3. Stay ready to please, so follow me. I'll give you a treat. Just get to 3. He's ready. Ooh, I think he's ready. Standing at attention that he can't even walk steady. I got what you need. Just get to 3.
So many girls wanna be in your shoes. Get up in the G5, trip to Miami. 5-star Five-star hotels laid out with a glass in your hand on a beach so sandy. No matter what I gotta do, you'll be going to the top, never looking back for the sensation. Anything you wanna do, yeah, it's all up to you. Trust me, ain't no limitations. It's all or nothing, baby. Tell me what's your fantasy. I bring it all to life as long as this is where you plan to be. You say you love a freak, I know you see that man in me. Let me get it when I hit it, you ain't never gonna forget it. It's like insanity.
Anything you want from me, you can have it. I grant wishes like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll be a genie, yeah. I'll be a genie, yeah. Got you under my spell, baby. It's my potion. I love it when you put it down deep. I'll be a genie, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. GSS. Welcome back to Master Control, your place for all things sci-fi and fantasy. Welcome back. Just want you guys to know, make sure to follow us on Twitter at GeekStreetGSS and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/GeekStreetSociety and follow us live video feed now in 3D. No, not really. But
that'd
we
be cool
are,
though, right?
Get
But
your
we
glasses.
we are on twitch.tv, #GSS Master Control. Check out all the other shows on there as well. Mouthwash, Otaku Realm, all of them. Going good, going strong. You can also look in Twitch through Chris Yoko, and that is Yoko with a C. Also, make sure to check out our YouTube and at the #Geek Street Society, and make sure to download the mobile app Spreaker and tune in and look for, again, #Geek Street Society. Listen to us live, listen to us later, listen to us always. Master Control, Geek Street Society, all day. And a big shout out to Mr. Chang Clouds, who is in the studio today, making sure all this is possible and happening. And make sure to chat with us at Twitch and call us at 1-855-303-GEEK. Again, that is 1-855-303-4335. Back to the show. So, last time we were talking about just, good old sci-fi and fantasy shows that we all love. We want to introduce our guest host, Sarah. And this is our replacement Stache Mark. I am Ace.
And I'm Phee.
And welcome back. So, left off the show, I want to mention, you mentioned that you like video games, right, Sarah?
Wait, did you just say like? Because I'm more like in love and obsessed with them.
She's like, get it straight.
Okay.
I like my boyfriend. I love video games.
Oh,
That's
nice.
And that's live.
That's right. Yeah, that's life. Yeah, exactly. That's
Well, it's a
real
good
life
thing
stuff.
we're separated anyway, so.
Oh, double burn. That's a burn on top of a burn.
More time for video games.
Stache.
He probably did it to himself.
Right. So I got to ask, of all the many, many sci-fi and fantasy video games out there, which do you find yourself enjoying or just wasting the most time doing? Like for me, it's Skyrim. I have done everything in that game, and I will do it again 100 times over.
Oh man, I have played a huge wide range of video games. I used to spend a lot of time in World of Warcraft with one of my ex-boyfriends, and then I stopped playing that. And then I still play League of Legends on occasion. I recently started playing Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh.
That one's it's just like World of Warcraft except better. And,
Really?
Oh.
How's that? Wait, I gotta hear how this works out.
Face. Yes.
Sorry to anyone I just offended. I mean, World of Warcraft's a good game, but I kind of like Final Fantasy 14 a little bit better. And I'm just talking PC because I also play consoles. I'm just saying, World of Warcraft's a good. WoW is a good game. WoW is a good game. I like Final Fantasy better because I think the graphics are way better, more detailed. It's you don't feel as required to do everything. you have a storyline you follow, but you also have side quests you can do in the meantime. It's easier to pair up with a partner and do quests together and level up. Like I said, I can't get over the graphics, honestly. I mean, I'm so used to World of Warcraft, and then you play Final Fantasy 14, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like
I gotta
beautiful.
Make a comment.
It's so beautiful.
As you're saying all this, Nagozik's back there in the producer studio playing World of Warcraft.
There's nothing wrong with World of Warcraft. I used to play.
High fives all around.
It's not a bad game. I'm just more partial to Final Fantasy 14. Like I said, I don't like to sit there and diss games. It's like, you know what? Yes, I used to play it, and I got up to level 85 at the time when it was the max level, but
at the time,
you know, yeah, now it's like 90 or something with Mist of Pandaria. But I like Final Fantasy 14 because you have that storyline. The different characters are there. It's more fun to customize and design them, and I think one thing I like is that so far as I figured, I don't think they have the honor point system, which means you don't have to get all these points and do all these battlegrounds just to get one piece of armor and then spend another 2 weeks doing it all over again. The game was almost too time consuming. And with Final Fantasy 14, you can still play with all your friends, but you don't have to dedicate your entire life to it. So for me, it was just a little bit, I just find it a little bit easier for me to just kind of play sporadically.
So it's a pick up and play game.
Yep, and that's why I like it's that, like I said, it's just like World of Warcraft, except it's a little bit, you get more free roam, and plus it's cheaper.
Now, Phee, have you played any MMOs out there? Massively multiplayer online games?
I started to get down on WoW, and I failed because I got busy doing other things and distracted, which is terrible, and I need to get back on it because it's fantastic. And I was starting to do really well. I was just like waiting for my friend to do a quest, and I shouldn't have done that because that's when I got lost. But no more waiting for that guy. No, I need to get back on.
World of Warcraft, it's a curse and a gift.
It's fantastic.
And a curse.
It's a wonderful thing.
And a gift. But yes. So, Phee, what is your, most consuming sci-fi and fantasy video game?
I got really into Lego Indiana Jones for a little bit.
Yeah, really? Legos.
The Lego games, really?
Yeah. Indiana Jones, we're counting it.
It works,
I said it right now.
I got into Lego Star Wars too, so that counts too.
Oh,
yeah.
I actually like that one a lot.
I can't get into the Lego games. I just can't. They're just not my appeal. I play console games as well, but that's one of the few ones I just can't get into because it's like maybe I would have liked it if I were like younger, but for me, I guess it just doesn't do anything for me. But then again, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way about the games I play, like Kingdom Hearts and all that. Like there's some people that can't.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, Kingdom Hearts forever.
You got all around wins with that one.
Yep.
There was no bummed people. So.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, see, that's what I said. Not everyone agrees with it. So.
But yeah, no, yeah, I said it. No, yeah, there's a big group of sci-fi people out there I know just screaming at their screen right now. For Phee is a known fan of
Portal.
Yes.
Portal.
Yes.
Portal.
Fist pump.
I love Portal. I love the song she sings. I love the gun, even though Stache totally jacked it for his gun of choice, which is cool because I got the other crazy one from the non-Power Rangers. Can't remember it now, but it was cool.
I like the voices in the first one and in the second one of the robots.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Gladys,
and then what was the guy's? There was the male robot voice, or who was the name of the male robot?
Oh.
In the second Portal 2.
Oh.
Oh. It's one of those, it's on the tip of our tongues.
If anyone knows out there, please give us a call.
At 1-855-303-4335. Help us out. Love us. Talk to us. Hate us. Whatever. Just call. Give us your opinion.
Whatever.
Join the show.
If you hate Legos or Kingdom Hearts, let us know.
Yes. Give your shout out to your game here and now. But on actually the topic of, we were talking about earlier books versus movies. How do you feel about games and movies?
Oh
like
my
Star
God.
Wars versus Star Wars
No.
games? Because I loved
No.
Star Wars Galaxies, but the Old Republic MMO, I don't like the graphics.
Not a lot of people were into that. The ex that I used to play World of Warcraft with, he left World of Warcraft for a while to play the new Star Wars MMO, and he didn't like it. He played it for a matter of like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and he just completely stopped because he said it was really bad. And like, I didn't really understand. Like, I never played it, but I'm like, what's so bad about it? It seems pretty cool. You get to be a badass Jedi. I mean, come on.
Jedi life.
That's kind of how I felt about the Star Trek one. Like, I tried to play that one too, and I was kind of like, it was cool enough, but then there was like certain things where you'd just be like, I don't know what to do from here. So I don't know. Did you ever play? Did you ever hear? Did anyone else ever hear about the Star Trek one?
I know Star Trek when you're talking about the MMO.
Yeah.
I know I just never played it.
Yeah, I tried to get to. I played it for like probably a week, and that was the same kind of story where I was like, yeah. It seemed like there were some holes they needed to fill before they really took off with anything like that.
MMOs are hard to make like mainstream, and even if you take something really popular like Star Wars and Star Trek, I mean, they kind of already have their own story of their own, and you think to yourself, how cool it'd be if they made a game of it. But when they do, it's either they didn't do it well enough, or it just didn't meet up to your standards at all, no matter how well they could have done on the game. Because those stories and movies, they're so rich that when you try to spin off and to make it into another story, and you're your own character following your own storyline, it's just not the same. It doesn't have that same feel because you want to be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
You want to be
and you want his adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you
right?
want that adventure, not your own.
I got 6 words to contest you on that, and that is Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2.
Those ones did do popular.
The
weren't
first
they?
one I think was better story-wise, but they added on to the universe without ramming into it and just going blah 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 blah. You know?
Well, most of them don't do a good job of
most no. But that ones, those ones, those thems, yes. yes.
I haven't ever heard of that one.
The Force Unleashed?
Yeah, no.
I have that one, and it was my mom bought it for my dad, and he never played it. In fact, I think the game is still unopened, but I've heard nothing about good things about that game. Like, I used to work retail, and people used to come in all the time asking for it. So it was a popular game. I just never got around to playing it.
I recommend it. It's a very it kind of mixes platform and just the generic run-through bad guys and boss fight, which I miss in games. I miss that boss fight, but the story itself is very, very rich. And it makes sense within even the expanded. They took the expanded Star Wars universe into account. Like, there can only ever be 2 Sith at a time, and so pretty much the story is Taco. And for everybody knows, it's the first official taco of the night, which means spoiler. And you have -2 seconds to respond. This is your only warning.
That usually happens a lot sooner.
It does. This was a very late taco. Wow.
I know.
Lateness.
All right, so what you taco in?
You know, taco in The Force Unleashed, pretty much there can only ever be 2 Sith, and that's just in the universe of Star Wars because they can hoard all the power. And Darth Vader finds this boy who's a Jedi and decides to train him from this little kid so that he can replace Darth Sidious. Taco, Emperor Palpatine. Ha 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 ha. I'm evil. But, yes.
And you're old.
Ha ha ha. And wrinkly. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, Mace Windu did that. Mace Windu. Shout out to Sam Jackson out there. Yes.
Yay.
Oh my gosh. The stash just possessed my body. The stash just possessed my body and said that. But, no. Yes. And so and he raises him so that he can eventually overthrow, and the kid just doesn't go the right way. And, you know, you can choose good side or dark side, and it doesn't actually affect the outcome of the actual story. They keep it kind of isolated, and I like that. I think it was done well, and so was Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox.
Oh, I remember that.
You know, Star Wars has a pretty good, but the original Xbox in PlayStation 2, I believe, had a little bit stronger stories when they were doing things that were already real because they didn't necessarily have these super strong gameplay aspects that we have now, where you can just fill it full of explosions and 3D effects. Yeah.
I miss those original those good original storylines. Like, I think for me, I mostly miss platforming games in general. In that case, when either you bring it up like classic boss fights and all that, I think I liked it better when games were less focused on the graphics and more focused on the story.
I don't know.
I think one game that really did that really well is Tomb Raider. most recent Tomb
Oh,
Raider.
the new one. High
Yeah.
five on that girl. Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
that was pro.
High fives all around. Wait.
Yes.
Dude, that
Oh.
game was just the best reboot ever. And like I
Yep.
said, it still had that classic platforming while you still
Yep.
had your boss levels.
You
So
had a
that's
heck of a
one of
boss
the
level.
yeah. Oh man, I love that game. I was obsessed with it after I played it last year. I'm still obsessed
Man.
with it.
I
I want to be Lara
that whole
Croft.
thing.
Right. I made the mistake of buying that game at 6 p.m. I didn't stop playing until 5 a.m. because the story just keeps you so entranced and want to know what's happening. But I gotta say, Tomb Raider really took over the market with that reboot. Did you go to Denver Comic-Con? Dang. Tomb Raider everywhere. Everyone was Tomb Raider. Everyone was Lara Croft.
for the win, dude.
Oh, it was
Dude,
awesome.
I wanted to be Lara Croft for Halloween, but I ended up going as Belle, and my guy I was with went as Beast. I would have rather have been Lara Croft, to be honest. She's more of a badass, and that game was just amazing. Like after I played the whole game through, I bought the art book and like the soundtrack. I was just like so into it. That game
So
really
good.
pulled me in, and like I was so fortunate when I bought it because I bought it only like 2 months after it released. And I got it for like half the price.
Yeah.
So you always want to wait when you buy games.
Right? I need to actually buy it. I just played it at a friend's house, and I just we sat down, and he's like, "You got to try playing this game," and I played it straight through.
Yeah, and
It's
you know,
addictive.
you don't
Totally
feel
is.
like you're too much in an enclosed environment unless you're like me and you have to get everything as you can and just collect all the collectibles.
But you can
because
always
I have
travel
no
back.
life.
That was the best part is they had the
Yeah.
travel camps, and I found that so helpful when you want to go back and nitpick through everything.
And speaking of travel camps, don't forget to fast travel back to us because we are going on break, and we will be right back after these words. But make sure to follow us on Twitter at Geek Street GSS and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Geek Street Society. And check out our live feed if you're not at twitch.tv #GSS Master Control, or find Chris Yoko, that's Yoko with a C, C-S and crazy, and follow us there. And don't forget to look on youtube.com #Geek Street Society, and download the mobile app Spreaker and TuneIn to listen to us
I
now.
want what he's drinking.
Right? It's called chugging. I don't
Smoking.
drink
This
these
is
things.
Colorado.
Haha. Oh, by the way, Colorado. Enough said. And download the Spreaker and TuneIn apps and find us with, again, #Geek Street Society. We will be right back after these break.
Please
Can I get a yes?
break.
Yeah.
Simple journey, a journey full of sound and beats. One that will lead you down, way down to the underground. I said the underground, where your body begins to tremble and your hand become just a little nimble. The underground, where the party children are waiting. There's no contemplating at the underground.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now let me see you.
Watch how I work, watch me go in, watch me, watch how I work. I put my foot to the metal, see me coming through. Lyrically, I'm hip-hop juggling, not anything I'm running through. I'm back, boy, push you like a brick that's off the back, boy. Y'all had me hype before, but now I'm back, boy. Really, it ain't safe to be rolling in that lane with me. I got a wrecking ball and a big construction crane with me. It's a shame to see shots, but they aim at me. They say I sound the same, well, at least I sound the same as me. I ain't trying to be Jane, trying to be Lil Wayne or Drizzy Drake. I'm trying to be that missing piece to fit the game. You see, I shine until they dim my lights. A TKO or in the fight, a judgment day come in my life. I'm rolling, gotta get there, gotta get to the top. That's where I'm going, so prepared, I can feel it in the air. That's why I'm moving fast. Packed up all my Louis bags, I'm cruising past. I got that tunnel vision, I ain't looking back. Watch me work, I do it big. They try and knock me down, but I'm way too smart for them. So watch me go in, watch how I work. Watch me go in, watch me, watch how I work. Watch me work, I do it big. They try and knock me down, but I'm way too smart for them. So watch me go in, watch how I work. Watch me go in, watch how I work. See, I don't know about him and her, and I don't know about them, but me, myself, and I, we on the grind until we get that win. My dreams got that Maybach in the scope, but I ain't Wale. Them plaques, I got them perfectly framed. They on the wall laid, so rip somebody up if you trying to come at me. Better take some some caution. I cause ruckus, better get a compass, cause we see that you lost, kid. Why all these rappers think that all of them flossing? We must be talking about that movie, they just horrible bosses. Watch me work, I'm trying to get my money right. Put that defibrillator to my goals and watch them come to life. I'm a superstar, never freeze up under lights. I ain't talking Kevin, but they ran like the Thunder guy. Lyrical activist, my acronyms is accurate. My wordplay is immaculate, like a scholar or graduate. Don't try to play me dumb, I reign till my kingdom come. I never stop, cross the finish line, you still gon' see me run. Watch me work, I do it big. They try and knock me down, but I'm way too smart for them, so watch me go in. Watch me, watch how I work. Watch me go in, watch me, watch how I work. Watch me work, I do it big. They try and knock me down, but I'm way too smart for them, so watch me go in. Watch me, watch how I work. Watch me go in, watch me, watch how I work.
Such a reliable source.
Welcome back to Master Control,
Welcome
live
back.
from Aurora, Colorado. I was like, wait, where am I?
Somewhere.
We're up, down, left, right, and everywhere. Everywhere at once. Yes.
That's how we roll.
Because I am Q. And they are Q. And we are talking to you. Welcome back to Master Control. I am Ace.
I'm Phee.
This is Sarah.
Pseudo
Yes, Mr. Mark over here in the corner. Yes. So, we are back, and we have touched this briefly, the Sci-Fi Channel. They got some new stuff up and coming, going down. They are actually advertising one of their new shows extremely heavily. Phee?
Helix.
Yes.
Is that the show that you maybe are talking about?
That might be the show that I might be talking about, yeah. Just to give you a quick rundown on what that is, it is from executive producer Ron Moore, and you can recognize that name from Battlestar Galactica, a fan favorite on Sci-Fi, for all you Battlestar Galactica fans out there. And Helix is an intensive thriller about a team of scientists from the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, who travel to a remote research facility to investigate a possible outbreak. Once there, they find themselves embroiled in a life and death struggle that could spell mankind's salvation or annihilation. So that is Helix. It premieres on the 10th. So tomorrow, make sure to mark that off at 10 o'clock, 9 Central. So, blah.
If you guys are interested, I just posted on the Geek Street Society page on Facebook. I just posted the first 15 minutes of that show. They've released it as a preview kind of thing, so that's up there now.
16 minutes.
Check that out.
And just for you people that are just listening and enjoying the show, it is www.sci-fi.com/access granted, no space. Yes, check that out. The show looks amazing. We got one of the main actors, Billy Campbell, has been around the block, left, right, sideways. He has been all around TV, and just exciting. It looks really cool. I like the premise. I've always liked the that possible could go either way versus the CDC goes to the Arctic and it's mankind's doom already.
Yeah.
You know.
Surprise! Welcome to the Arctic. You're done.
Well, if it's starting
Yeah.
If it's starting in the Arctic, I mean, it gives them a better chance to be able to contain it, right? It's because
You'd like to think that.
You'd like to think that.
But
wouldn't you?
if they could contain it, then there wouldn't be a show, right? It'd only be one episode.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So you can't have it contained. Have you guys played Pandemic?
I love that game.
Gotta say, on the topic of sci-fi games, Pandemic,
Yes.
definitely one of the best. Also
So
called
good.
Plague Inc., depending on where you're playing it.
It's like playing
It
God.
has to. I know, right? It's like, yes.
I love it.
Get Australia. Get Australia.
I gotta say, if you haven't played the game recently, the Necroa virus, the zombie virus, amazing. And I did it. For those of you out there that get frustrated by that game, on normal difficulty, granted, but I got through the Necroa virus without turning anyone into a zombie. Because I can. Ha 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 ha.
I love it because it's so strategy based, and you really have to plan it, and like it makes you think about real world situations. Right. I mean, like I said, you feel like you're God, and you just want to I'm just gonna kill off mankind, and I'm just gonna take Australia off the map because I just don't like kangaroos.
Well, if you played that game recently, actually they had an update where there's now a different modes, and they actually got an interview with the CDC, and the CDC helped them show what they would do in these actual situations. So the game,
That's so
especially on
great.
Brutal, you see it. Very interesting.
Let's see if you can outsmart the CDC.
Right.
Can you really get your plague across the planet? I actually wrote a song about that.
Really?
Yes. My friend and I. Oh God, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but I still want to record that so bad because it was just fantastic.
Definitely record that. And people who don't know, check out Phee's band. They are called
Smalls the Cat.
Yes.
You can see us at Smalls the Cat. Smalls with a Z, like small with a Z on the end. Thecat.com. Smalls. I'm sure if you listen to the radio station often, I'm sure you've heard our single that we have.
Yes. You are up there playing awesomely. By the way, I love your music.
Thank you, sir.
On the Sci-Fi Channel, they've been around for a good long time now. Yes. 1989 is debatable round when they started. March 1992, the concept was picked up by USA, and it's just been traded back and forth. Right now, it's owned by NBC Universal. It was formerly known as the Sci-Fi Channel, SCIFI Channel. Now it's the SYFY Channel, which is much funner to say.
Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
It sounds the same, but spell it. Spell it. It just rolls off the tongue.
Right, yeah.
SYFY.
Well, and then there's a lot of people out there who probably accidentally spell sci-fi like that, so they're like, oh, it works.
I think it's just... I won't even go there.
Yeah, actually, did you
Goes
know?
along with the weed, in Colorado being legalized, right? It's
Yes.
just, it's a whole...
We are groundbreaking out here. Groundbreaking.
It's a domino effect, the next set of elections, I'm sure more states are probably going to start. They're going to hop on the bandwagon. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh, Colorado did it," and it's a domino effect. Other states will follow through soon, and I hope they do.
And we are making a lot of money in tax. Ha ha.
Yay.
Which supports those that don't.
How much that costs?
Oh, it's expensive. It is out there.
Is it really?
It's
brought the price up?
Yeah, I hear
The tax
it's
is
really bad.
outrageous.
I
really? Has it?
I haven't seen it, but it sounds like just astronomical. But maybe it'll go.
Yeah.
Still groundbreaking, nonetheless.
Sounds good to me, though.
Yes. Did you know with Sci-Fi Channel that Leonard Nimoy was the master of ceremonies at the channel's launch party?
Oh, nice.
Yes, and they gave a shout out. Yeah, and they actually gave a shout out on screen to Isaac Asimov and Gene Roddenberry to the memories of them because they were members of the channel's board of advisors.
Ah.
Reverse. That's what the members of the channel's board of advisors did. Gave them a shout out.
Yay.
Yes. So, and the first film, the first thing premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel back then was Wingman. You're going to want to hear this. Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope was Sci-Fi Channel's breakout. Yes.
We just watched that the other day.
And then in 1994 they were sold. So they started in 1992, sold in 1994 from Paramount to Viacom, and just back and forth. And finally in 2004 ended up with NBC, and that's when they started making those changes, like turning it into SYFY.
Viacom owns everything, it seems like. At
They
least when it comes to
did.
channels. Oh my goodness gracious.
They're like the Clear Channel of TV. Is that what that is?
They own like Nickelodeon and Comedy Central.
There's a
and-
wingman in the window.
I didn't know they owned Sci-Fi Channel either.
Yeah,
so
I
now I'm
didn't
just
know
like,
that either.
holy cow, what else do they own?
Right?
Everything. They own the world, and we are part of it.
More money than God.
But yes, you know, they come up with a lot of good shows that are original to sci-fi.
Like my new fave,
Yes.
Sharknado.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Sharknado. That one was sci-fi, right? I love their
Yes.
ridiculous movies, like the giant anacondas. It's like yes, that's what I want to do with my degree in animation. I want to make B movies that with like the most like low grade graphics about sharks flying in tornadoes and giant anacondas and giant spiders taking over. That's what my bachelor's degree is for. Just that.
Dude, why not? Like, I go to school for something not as fun as that, right?
Right?
Why would I want to work for Pixar, DreamWorks,
Oh,
and make? And why would I want an
That's pretty
Oscar?
serious.
I don't want an Oscar. I want to work on Sharknado.
Right. Well, who can forget Shocktopus and Mansquito? Yes.
Mansquito. Was that
Man.
like the sequel to The Fly?
I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
I want to see it now too.
Dude, there's a Sharknado 2 coming out this
There
year.
I hope so. It
is.
should be like a Sharknami.
Oh my god, that'd be
Sharknado.
fantastic. I bet there will be. That's what they gotta do, right?
They have to. You know, it's sitting in my Netflix queue, and I'm debating about watching it. I'm just like, it's so bad, but at the same time, I want to watch it because
Have you watched Sharknado actually?
Not all the way
darn.
through. Not all the way through.
So I
but
was just gonna talk about it. I was gonna talk over.
Oh, you can spoil. You can spoil it for me. I don't. Something tells me it's not gonna shock me.
Yeah, right. It was just like there was a really funny part where like Taco, by the way, so they're inside this house and it's completely flooded and there's sharks like trying to munch him down and they have to beat this shark. And they get out of the house and like everything's dry. Like right around the house, like it's just totally dry. It's just like somehow inside of that house, like it's not like they like open the door and water comes pouring out full of sharks. They're just like outside suddenly, and totally fine.
I just don't get how sharks in a tornado can be a threat. I really just don't get it. And it's
That would
like,
be a very, very sharp tornado once you get caught in that thing. Like, oh no! Punch him in the nose! No, it's not doing anything. There's too many!
And I thought the cow
Jaws,
spinning around
dun,
in
dun,
Twister
dun, dun,
was
dun,
like
dun, dun, dun.
funny enough
Right.
as it was.
That
oh
alone.
man.
Just really
You
up
know-
that ante right now.
Man, shark.
Let's just throw some sharks in a windstorm and call it good. Next thing you know, they're going to be adding grizzly bears to another natural disaster.
I
And that's
certainly
that's
hope
part of
so.
the thing about sci-fi is they're really known for B-rate movies, and they still play their B-rate stuff
God.
because why not? Hilarious. But they actually do have a lot of really, really good shows right now, and they've really come up, but they still have that just name of being B-rate. But they have Battlestar Galactica, they have Being Human, they have Continuum, Defiance, Domination, Face Off. Man, they have just a list of actually really, really good shows now, and their list of B-rate has just gone down. Warehouse 13, which I know people have just a great following of. And so, it's funny enough, if you actually go to their show list, you'll see all these great shows, and you'll also see Sharknado. Straight up in there, in their list. It's fantastic. So, I kind of like that they hold on to that B-rate-ness.
Sorry, I'm showing a picture.
Picture
of
of
it.
Sharknado.
It's awful.
It's fantastic. The sci-fi.com/movies is like straight up Sharknado in your face. They have
Straight
a
up.
caption this from like, it's like a clip from Sharknado. There's just guts all over this car.
Shark guts.
Yeah, I'd love to see what people come up with for that caption. This.
Oh man.
It's gonna be good.
I think the best part about those memes, I mean, like the show, the channel has these really, really great shows, these powerful shows that keep you interested, but they have to kind of balance it out. Like, okay, we got to throw something bad in. Let's throw in these B-rate movies, and then their B-rate movies are so bad they're good.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing about Sharknado
like
is like they
Godzilla.
knew what they made it like an A-rate, B-rate
All the
movie,
Godzilla
like,
movies, which they're coming out
totally.
with again.
I wanna
But
see-
that's not. There's no way that's gonna be B-rate now.
Okay,
Not
you know
with
what?
this
I want to
stuff.
see. I want to
If
see
they're gonna make it bad,
MSTK3
it's terrible.
or T3K The Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh!
They need to do Sharknado. They should bring back that show and do Sharknado. I want to see
Check the
that
riff tracks.
so
I'm sure they've got a riff
bad.
tracks of that somewhere. I'm sure they do.
I would love to see that.
I mean, that
I
is
thought Gamera was
MST3K,
good.
just sort of the new version. So, yeah, riff tracks. Check it out. If they got Twilight, I'm sure they got Sharknado somewhere.
Oh,
But they don't have NPH. Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil
Patrick Starship Troopers.
You know, if you actually...
Dude, that's Neil Patrick Harris. That's another one of my favorite like sci-fi things. That Dr. Horrible.
Yep.
Yes.
His
Dr.
sing-along blog
Horrible,
is
sing-along
fantastic.
blog.
Like I could watch that for eons.
Yep, that was my bad show choice. But I do love the soundtrack. I gotta say, he is actually a really good singer.
They pull it off. Like it's fantastic. You know the Asian fangirl
No.
in Dr. Horrible.
Yeah.
she did the music.
Really?
Yeah, she was the music person for that.
Fun fact for the day.
At least one of them.
That is
I don't
actually
know.
really, really cool, though.
The more you know.
Yeah. It's funny because like all the people in it were people who worked on it, and it was just like super like niche, you know.
Yeah, and sci-fi used to say super niche, and I think it's when they had that big kind of like makeover is when they decided that they were really going to branch out to the people that they just weren't touching, and that's when they started in a lot. They started really making like quality besides their B-rate, because B-rate's always great, and a lot of the times they are really, really good just in essence, but you can't bring in too large of an audience with just B-rate. Don't judge me for saying that. B-rate is fantastic. B-rate all day long. All day long. But yeah, and so sci-fi's really coming back, and just seeing the amount that they've advertised Helix, check it out. Comes out tomorrow on your Sci-Fi channel, 9 o'clock Central Time.
I do have to say, I was really for all the advertising they did for Defiance, I was a bit disappointed in it.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like they weren't standing too strong in their advertisement with that show too. It was kind of sporadic.
Yeah.
Poor advertising can lead to poor viewership, and then that's why they start off as doing bad, and then they become cult classics, and people are like, "Why didn't this do better?" And then it's the company's fault because they didn't advertise as well as they could have.
That's true.
The advertising is key.
It is key. It makes and breaks everything. Music, everything.
Yes, everything. But you also can't just advertise to your own people. You can't just put an advertisement up on Sci-Fi and expect other people to see it,
Right,
you got to branch out. And that's what they really did with Helix. They went to the online. So, yep. Speaking of online, we're going on a break. Ha ha! Saw that coming out of nowhere, left field. That was a foul ball. Anyway, back to that. We are going on break, so make sure to stay tuned. We will be right back. And don't forget to go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Geek Street GSS, and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Geek Street Society, and watch us live on twitch.tv #GSS Master Control. Check out the other shows too. They are fantastic and hilarious. Check out Mouthwash in the Morning, and don't forget Otaku Room and Fourth Wall, and all the other great shows. Too many to list because they're also fantastic. And you can also find it through Chris Yoko with a C, on twitch.tv. And don't forget to find us on youtube.com, #Geek Street Society, and download the mobile apps, Spreaker, and TuneIn. Again, #Geek Street Society. Yes, yes, yes. GSS. KGSS. Now with more kicks.
KGSS. We'll talk to you soon.